Hey there guys, welcome to Dino's Vault once again. It's a really hot summer afternoon here, and giving me company this time around is the all new RTR 160 BS4 edition. So let's just go ahead and find out what this new BS4 edition has on offer. The RTR 160 is one among the two bikes alongside the Pulsar that changed the perception of the average Indian biker towards motorcycles. While the Pulsar was more of an all-rounder package, the RTR 160 with its racing throttle response and the racing pedigree running through its veins introduced an all-new experience in its segment with the raw power and sheer performance it had on offer. The RTR 160, despite being around now for over a decade, still comes across as an interesting proposition despite all the intense competition surrounding it currently, a sign that clearly underscores the fact that the RTR 160 was a well ahead of its time motorcycle. Even today, the RTR 160 is the only motorcycle that offers Duke-like performance with a rev-happy engine in and around its price range. The more you rev the bike, the more it feels at ease. All along, the only major issue with the RTR 160 had been the vibrations that it gave out. So does the new BS4 engine manage to solve this issue is the major question as we go into this quick fire review. Well, the answer to that is coming through the course of this video. I've already reviewed the matte blue color variant of the RTR 160 back at the time of its launch, and you can watch that video by following the link appearing on the screen currently. If you want to see me comparing this bike with the likes of Pulsar, Gixxer, FZ, Hornet, etc., then please feel free to watch my Battle Royale 150cc shootout videos part 1 and part 2 by following the respective links on the screen. Now first, let's quickly look at the updates that this new BS4 variant gets. The first and obvious update is that of a BS4 compliant engine now. To know all the info about BS4 as to what it is, why we need BS4 compliant engines, and the differences between BS3 and BS4 norms, please watch my RTR 200 BS4 edition review. Secondly, the RTR 160 doesn't yet get the AHO or automatic headlamp on feature. We do get a light switch to turn on and turn off the headlamp. The reason that I think the RTR 160 might have been exempted from getting AHO is because of the bright LED DRLs that already exist on the RTR 160, and they do come on ignition. Now next, let's quickly look at what makes this bike so special. First of all, the bike gets a synchronized stiff chassis that has been developed in conjunction with inputs from the TVS racing team such that the frame offers good stability and great agility. The overall design of the new RTR when launched in 2012 was greeted with mixed opinions. Some loved the new design while some thought it didn't look as cohesive as the preceding model. Well, the good news, however, is that we still have the option of choosing between the older design or the new design depending on your personal preferences. Also, I feel the new design kind of grows on you with time, and I personally feel that the bike looks best in this white attire. In the new design concept, I like the LED DRLs that lend the bike a more menacing look, like that of a wild animal that is ready to be unleashed. Even the large tank cowls are there for the purpose of reducing the overall engine heat by nearly 10 degrees. I like the carbon fiber cues on the speedo console and on the fuel tank. The sharper and edgy engine cowl too adds to the animalistic feel of the design concept. The rear panels are sharper, thereby lending the bike a sleeker look. The sporty exhaust note has always been one of the USPs of the bike, and the RTR still boasts of offering the best and bass-heavy exhaust note in its segment. The LED tail lamp setup is similar to the one found on the first gen model, which does look good, although I feel they could have given it a new layout to go with this new design. The seat is well padded to offer good comfort and offers adequate room for the rider as well as the pillion. The clip-on handlebars are slightly shorter such that you can tuck yourself in and race through the straights on the track. Even in city conditions, the shorter handlebars allow you to flick the bike easily through city traffic. The switchgear is of good quality, and we do get a high beam flasher as well as an engine kill switch. As mentioned before, we also do get the light switch here despite this being a BS4 model. The instrument panel is well laid out with an analog tachometer, and the digital display readouts include the speedometer, odometer, trip meter, fuel gauge, clock, top speed recorder, etc. The engine specs remain the same. We get the same 159.7cc engine that puts out a max power of 15.2 bhp at 8,500 rpm and a max torque of 13.1 Newton meters at 4,000 rpm. This comes mated to a 5-speed gearbox. Now, taking the bike out for a spin, the first thing that I tried noticing was whether the vibrations had reduced to some extent. Sadly, the answer to that is no. The vibrations do exist on the handlebar and also on the foot pegs. However, some bikers prefer this because they say it gives them the feeling of raw power being delivered. Nevertheless, the explosive nature of the engine that lunges forward each time you ring the throttle remains unchanged. The rev-happy nature of the bike also stays the same. The bike indeed feels scarily fast because of its incredibly high power-to-weight ratio of 111 PS per ton, which is one of the best in its segment. The adrenaline rush and the feel that you get to push the bike to its limits is what makes the RTR special, and thankfully all those ingredients still remain unchanged in this amazing bike that will always go down as one of the game-changing bikes in the history of Indian motorcycling. Talking about the brakes, we do get pedal discs all around with a 270mm disc up front and a 200mm disc at the back. The bike that I rode this time was a dual disc variant. The braking is decent enough, although the confidence level isn't all that high when you try braking post 100 km per hour due to the bike's lightweight chassis. Talking about the suspension, the setup is on the stiffer side to offer better performance on the track, although it is not as stiff as the KTM's. The telescopic forks up front and the monotube inverted gas-filled shocks at the back offer a decent blend of comfort and performance. Talking about the wheels and tires, we get 17-inch wheels and tubeless tires. We get a 90/90 tire up front and a 110/80 tire at the back. The tires do offer decent road grip, although I still feel better quality tires would do more justice to the kind of performance that this bike has on offer. Ground clearance is 165mm, which is more than sufficient on our Indian roads. Seat height is 790mm, which is ideal to appeal to shorter riders, average height riders, and also to riders up to 6 feet tall. Fuel tank capacity is 16 liters, which translates into good tank range. Mileage wise, I used to get around 42 to 45 kmpl from my RTR 160 back in 2012. The bike is more of a performance machine rather than a mileage bike, so it's better to expect the same from it mileage wise. Price ex-showroom Hyderabad for the RTR 160 BS4 model is around Rs 76,000, and to know the exact on-road price here in Hyderabad for this bike, you can call the number appearing on the screen currently. Well, that's pretty much it for now. I just hope you found this video useful. Until next time, this is Dino saying ciao. Take care, God bless, and ride safe.